Welcome to the Know. I am Ashley Jenkins. If you're overcome with hype from Microsoft's next Xbox and you can't wait to throw down your money on it, well, even Xbox boss Phil Spencer is telling you not to throw your wallet at the screen just yet. When a fan asked Spencer on Twitter this weekend when they'd be able to pre-order the next system, Spencer told him, "Wait until we show you games on it before you pre-order." Voice of wisdom. As always, Spencer had a fairly active weekend on the social media platform, telling another fan that they are planning for even more crossplay opportunities in the future between Xbox and PC. Plus, Spencer dropped the release window for the remake of Phantom Dust, saying it should ship sometime before E3. In the past, Microsoft has indicated they may give the full reveal of Scorpio before E3 this year, so it could be that's the same time that Phantom Dust finally drops on us. But again, set the hype level appropriately because we'll just have to wait and see. Remember that dark experiment where Microsoft decided to let Xbox and PC gamers play against each other competitively in Gears of War 4 a couple months back? Well, it looks like the experiment paid off. The company announced that Gears of War 4 will now feature a permanent multiplayer playlist where PC and Xbox players can square off against each other, but don't worry, hardcore Gears player, it's only the social quick play that's getting dirtied up by the other platforms. Core and competitive will still remain platform independent for the time being. But Microsoft did indicate they want to see if they can have crossplay infiltrate those playlists at some point in the future. Back when they did the crossplay competitive experiment, some said that PC players would outclass console players so badly it wouldn't work. But, well, it worked well enough to add at least one permanent playlist, which is better than Shadowrun, if you guys remember that. Resident Evil 7 is performing very well for Capcom. It shipped 2.5 million units in its first week alone, but now Capcom has published some additional statistics that give us an interesting look at the player base, namely just how many people are subjecting themselves to the game in VR. Apparently, nearly 10% of all Biohazard players have attempted to brave the bakers in virtual reality, which is pretty impressive considering VR is only exclusive to PlayStation 4. So that means an even bigger chunk of the PS4 player base has tried out the experience. In all, it looks like just shy of 1 million players have logged time into the game at all, so nearly 100,000 VR players, that's really nothing to laugh at. Of course, there's always the question of how many of those players noped out within the first hour, which is probably another like 90-95% of those. In addition to setting sales records, Resident Evil 7 is even breaking piracy records. According to DSO Gaming, Biohazard, which features the infamously uncrackable de Novo DRM, has already been cracked within 5 days of its release. That certainly does not bode well for the folks at de Novo, which has hinged on its reputation on keeping AAA games safe from pirates for at least a few months of release right after it comes out, which is when the piracy rate tends to be much higher. So once again, we see that piracy always finds a way. It's like life, really. We'll see if this leads to Capcom ditching de Novo now that the game is out of the bag, and if it leads to an even bigger change in sales. We'll see. First, Valve set its sights on Counter-Strike Global Offensive gambling, and now the company is turning its attention to Team Fortress 2. In a very short announcement over the weekend, Valve said, more recently, some gambling websites started leveraging TF2 items. Today, we began the process of blocking TF2 gambling accounts as well. We recommend you don't trade with these sites. Last July, Valve cut off API access to sites that accessed Steam to help users gamble with Counter-Strike skins in the wake of a number of scandals relating to the underground skin trading marketplace. Team Fortress 2's marketplace didn't benefit in quite the same way that Counter-Strike Go has in the past, but it certainly looks like Valve is stepping up its anti-gambling game, after indirectly making a lot of money from it. A new report estimates that last year, more than $5 billion was spent in the CSGO gambling scene alone, which really says a lot about people, I think. Looks like filming for the new Han Solo movie is officially underway. Director Chris Miller announced the occasion with a tweet today that jokingly titled the new movie Star Wars Red Cup. Get it? As in like solo cups? Yeah, it's clever. He also captioned the picture, Han First Shot, a nod to the whole, Han shot first controversy from A New Hope. The new movie stars Alden Ehrenreich as a young Han, as well as Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, Woody Harrelson as Han's mentor, Somebody, and Game of Thrones' Emilia Clarke also as Somebody, who we think they'll kiss. We don't know yet of how, not Woody Harrelson and Emilia Clarke, probably Alden and Emilia Clarke. Other than that though, we don't yet know what the movie will exactly be about, but Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy has called it a Western and a heist movie. So that sounds like fun, and it's scheduled for release next year. More news from the hacking world. A couple of ransomware attacks left a hotel in Austria locked down, not joking, and a Texas police department wondering where its evidence went. Hackers in Austria recently infiltrated a 4-star hotel's security system, leaving the hotel unable to create new keys. The hotel agreed to pay the hackers a ransom in Bitcoin, and they gave them control of their system back. And a police department in Cockrell Hill, Texas, said recently that it lost years of evidence after its department server was infected with ransomware. The lost data goes back to 2009, and the hackers reportedly demanded $4,000 to unlock the files. Instead, the department decided to wipe its servers and just reinstall everything. Don't mess with Texas. We don't need evidence. Evidence is for suckers. Turns out hamsters make terrible vegetarians. On a very different from Texas note. French researchers made an unsettling discovery recently. If you give hamsters a diet of nothing but corn, they will start eating each other. Sunny. Researchers have been studying hamster deaths in Western Europe where the rodent is endangered. It turns out the places where the hamsters have been dying are areas where there's large-scale industrial farming of corn. And in lab tests, researchers found that if hamsters have nothing to eat but corn, they will eventually turn to cannibalism. Yikes! So that's a very different view of what's coming with Interstellar. And when a hamster orders a taco, please just put it on flour. I wonder if anyone who's outside of Texas and a lot of places don't necessarily do corn tortillas. A lot of people might be very confused by this. It's a joke about corn tortillas. There. All right, and after all the giggles and stuff, we've got that out of our system. Some sad news to end on. We lost a couple of film and video game legends over the weekend. First off, the English character actor John Hurt died at 77 years old. Hurt was a widely regarded actor who was famous for roles in movies like Midnight Express and The Elephant Man. Also, he was the War Doctor, if you really like Doctor Who, over his 40-year career. And you might remember his famous death scene at the end of the original Alien film. And in the video game world, the legendary founder of Namco, Masaya Nakamura, died at 91 years old. The company later merged with Bandai, but Nakamura was at the helm of the company during its glory days in the 80s when it created games like Pac-Man. Nakamura himself reportedly chose the word pack or paku in Japanese to represent the sound of the Pac-Man munching down. So RIP to both of these greats, you will be missed. It doesn't feel right asking people to like and subscribe after this, so just, you know what, tell us your favorite John Hurt role and your favorite classic Namco game in the comments. We can all be sad together. And on that cheery note, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Nope. Way to leave on a low note, Ashley. You're such a jerk. But keep watching our videos. I'd like to have a job to come back to.